I have to do a video and show this because not only is it awesome, people are visual, and you can describe something that's black and blue and it's got pimples all over it, and they just still, it doesn't click. You can explain something to the most advanced person, mechanic or what have you, and they'll say, oh, I really have to see it. I have to have a look at it. Because it's visual. So we're going to do all of the steps here. We're going to show what this is, how we hook it up, and then the third segment is going to be the test drive. This was $275. It was $250. They raised it. Now they raised it again. I had a look on there. It's $300 now. I don't know. I paid $275. It was the Wireless Chassis Ear. These are all radio transmitters. Turn off. We got radio transmitters. Okay. It has a clip, so you can put it on something. It has a provision for a Velcro strap, which I don't like, but I will use the tie wraps. Those are good. And, well, the way that kind of works is that the face of this has to go against a rusty frame rail. So I got these little papers so I don't mess up my nice thing. And it's magnetic. There is a little magnet in here. It's not that strong. It's not one of those earth magnets. But the beauty of it is you could switch it on, and now it is communicating with this, with channel 3 here. And, when you hook a wire up to it, and you have this alligator clamp, you can put that on anything you want, really. And it has a signal strength indicator, and it's that scratchiness. You can put the headphones on and listen. It's really awesome, and it's really sensitive. You could be 5 inches away from one thing to another, and it's sensitive enough. They've dialed that in really nice. So if something's bad enough, though, you could also hear it from 5 feet away. You can change the channels as you're driving and listen. You could go between channels 3 and 4, and it goes. Those are normal bearings. Okay, so they had an original model with wires, like these 20-foot wires, and it's like, how are you going to run that through your door jamb and under the vehicle? Well, that's just not going to work. But this is an awesome, really awesome tool because it takes the guesswork out of stuff, and you can use it while you're driving. Noises that tend to be a pain, rattles, vibrations. On top of that, to add to it, they only like to do it at a certain speed and a certain RPM. We're going to get into that. But a mechanic probably would run something up on a lift with the wheels off the ground, and then they would go around and listen. Well, the book says if you're going to do that, one one set of tires, in my case, is going to spin, or one tire on any, with this type of differential, is going to spin at double the indicated speed that's on the speedometer. And then the other one will do absolutely nothing. Kind of like my cousin Vinny. It has a tendency to one side, all the torque goes there. And so your tires could blow up, or your differential could blow up, because it's spinning, they're spinning at 140 miles an hour. You can only use a stethoscope maybe in a shop and go from one point to another and one at a time. With this, it's just really amazing. So they give you all these alligator clamps here, and you get 4 of these. It'll support up to 6. Now, why couldn't they just give you that many? I don't know, but you get 4. And I was guessing a lot, and now I don't have to anymore because I have found it. But here, we're going to do this experiment together. You're going to see here with this illustration. Now, if you have a driveline noise and it's coming from under your feet or under your seat and it's not in the steering wheel, where are you going to start looking? You are going to perhaps attack the drive shaft and overhaul the living daylights out of it repeatedly, and then have problems with it, and then overcome the problem, and it's completely fine. You could suspect that there's something in the differential. You could take this apart and go bananas. You could take the wheels off. Maybe you have bearings, wheel bearings that you think are bad. You could have engine mounts that are bad. We could have a transmission that is making noise. So the points that we're gonna hook up, now I've went around the vehicle to 30 locations, but in this video, we're just gonna do 4. Okay, to illustrate a point, and then you can hear it and go, aha, because I've been cured. Very happy I don't have to mess with this anymore. I don't have to even touch this, because the problem is right in here. Worth its weight in gold. I'm telling you, wow. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna put up A. Transmitter is gonna go here. And we'll go with B right here. And then, well, if you think this might be shaking, you might put it at the point where it attaches here, but that's close to where we already have another transmitter. So let's go to this point here of attachment. We're going to attach another one on the back of the transmission, and that's going to be C. And then, yes, I have listened to the engine mounts, and I've even gone up front and listened to all this stuff. The problem is in here. This is called the bell housing, and that's going to be D. So we're going to listen to that. When we go out there on the vehicle, we are going to attach them and then perform a test drive and diagnosis. Before we go outside and get out in the field, I am going to include this here also. It's very important. It goes to what I was saying about how somebody would diagnose this sort of thing. It can depend on engine speed, which is measured in RPM, Vehicle speed. The problem can happen on acceleration when you're getting on the gas pedal. It could happen on deceleration when you're off the gas. It could happen going up a hill where there's a load on it. Down a hill where your engine braking and there could be a load on it. Or, well, if you have an automatic, it's more like cruising. There's no load and you're not going to hear anything. So those two are very, very closely related with an automatic, an off-o-matic cake mixer. So, in a shop up on a lift, you're not going to be able to replicate these things. Now, you could put your foot on the brake while you're spooling it up and try to use that, but there's so many variables. It's just not happening. You really need to have this tool. If you're a mechanic that diagnoses vibrations for somebody, this is a must-have. And what they charge, $200 an hour, I think $275 to be able to have this tool and use it for 10,000 hours is pretty amazing. Or in my case, you know, maybe just 5 hours, because a lot of experimentation, and it took actually several days, several attempts to find this bugger, because it was just that hard to do. I put 30 locations, and I finally found it.